Hello students, welcome. This is Class 6th Science, Chapter number 4, Sorting Materials into Groups. It is lecture number 2. Topics to be discussed. In this video lecture, we will be covering the following topics. Number 1, meaning and importance of sorting. Number 2, we will be discussing what is matter and the three states of matter, namely solid, liquid, and gas. After that, we will also discuss some properties of matter. We can see around us a chair, a bullock cart, a cycle, cooking utensils, books, clothes, toys, water, stones, and many other objects. All these objects have different shapes, colors, and uses. In this picture above, you can find some of the common items that you can see around you. There is a diversity of objects around us. We are surrounded with different types of objects. The question which strikes my mind is, what are these objects made up of? Have you ever wondered why some objects are solid, some liquid, and some gaseous in state? All objects around us are made of one or more materials. These materials may be glass, metal, plastic, wood, cotton, paper, mud, or soil. Can you think of more examples of materials? Now let's discuss and understand what is matter. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. It includes all materials found in the universe. The important property is the matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Let's now talk about what are the states of matter, or we can also say the types of matter. We have altogether three types of matter, starting with solid, then liquid, and gas. Let's have a look at the properties of these different states of matter, starting with properties of solids. If we talk about shape, their shape is fixed. Mass of solids is also fixed. Volume, it means The space which they occupy. Yes, it is also fixed. And we know that solids cannot flow. You can check here that all the particles which consist a solid are closely intact. They have fixed shape, mass, volume, and they do not flow. Let's now discuss properties of liquids. We all know that liquids do not have fixed shape. Rather, they take the shape of the container in which they are kept. Mass, yes, they have fixed mass. As far as volume is concerned, it is also fixed. It's interesting that liquids can flow. You can check here, the particles of liquids do not have fixed shape. In whichever container they are kept, they take up the shape. Mass and volume of these particles is also fixed. Finally, properties of gas. Students, gases do not have fixed shape. As liquids, they also take the shape of the container in which they are kept. Mass, they do have fixed mass. Volume, their volume is also not fixed. They occupy all the available space. Also, gases can flow. If you look here, you can see that the full volume of the container is occupied by the gaseous particles. They do not have fixed volume nor the fixed shape, but they have fixed mass. I have summarized all the properties of the matter in this table. Let's start and reiterate all the properties. States of matter, solids, they have fixed or definite shape. Mass, again definite. Volume, definite. If we talk about liquid, it takes the shape of the container. Yes, its mass is fixed or definite. As far as volume is concerned, it is also definite. For third state, that is gas, they take the shape of the container. As far as mass is concerned, they do have fixed mass or definite mass. Volume, they occupies all the space available to them. The next question which arises is, what do you understand by the term sorting? Students, grouping similar things together is called sorting. It also means grouping, classification, or categorization. You can check here that sorting can also be called as classifying, categorizing, and grouping. Why do we need to do grouping? Or why grouping is important? There are few reasons Why do we promote grouping or sorting of materials? Number one, it helps in categorizing the objects. Number two, it becomes easy to arrange things. Number three, it helps to identify the objects. Number four, it makes study of different objects easier. Number five, it helps us in understanding differences and similarities among different objects. Alright, now let's have a look. How do we group materials? Definitely, similarities and differences in properties of materials help in their grouping. We group different objects all together on the basis of their similarities and differences in the properties. We may check their hardness, we may check their solubility, we may check if they are eatable, they are miscible. All these properties help us to differentiate and to categorize all the objects around us. Students, do not worry, we will be learning about some of these properties in detail. Some common properties of materials are: number one, appearance. That is, how do they look? Number two, hardness. Number three, transparency. Number four, floating. Number five, solubility. In this chapter, we will be differentiating or grouping the objects around us on the basis of these five properties. Let us now understand all these properties one by one. The first property is appearance, that is lustre, or it also means shining. The property by virtue of which objects appear shining is called lustrous. Students, it means the property which makes the object to shine is called lustrous. We have divided the objects on the basis of lustre into two categories: lustrous materials and non-lustrous materials. What are lustrous materials? The materials that have shiny surface or lustre are called lustrous materials. Examples: coins, jewelry of gold and silver. Any object which has shiny surface, which appears bright and shiny to us, are termed as lustrous material. You can check here the metallic coins and the jewelry made up of gold and silver are glittering, having shine and bright. So they are examples of lustrous materials. Non-lustrous materials. The materials that do not have shiny surface or luster and appear dull are called non-lustrous materials. Examples: paper, plastic, and rubber. Just the opposite of shine is dull. In the same way, all the materials which lack the shine from their surface are non-lustrous materials. You can check here: plastic bottles, rubber tires, they do not have shine, rather they appear dull. So, they are the examples of non-lustrous materials. The next property is hardness, the property by virtue of which objects resist any change in their shape and size on applying pressure, that is, compression. Dear students, anything which can be compressed and which cannot be compressed is determined on the basis of the property hardness. We have broadly divided the objects on the basis of hardness into two categories: hard materials and soft materials. Hard materials. The materials which do not change their shape and cannot be pressed are called hard materials. Examples: stone, steel, and wood. Here are few examples of hard materials. Students, you can try pressing any of these materials available around you. You will find that even you apply pressure, you will fail to change their shape and size because they are hard. Soft materials. The materials which can change their shape and can be compressed easily are called soft materials. Examples: sponge, cotton, and wool. Once again, we have few pictures of objects. If you will try to apply pressure on any of these, you will find you are successful in changing their shape and size because they are soft and they can be compressed easily. Let us now discuss the homework. Fill in the blanks. Question number 1. Anything that has dash and occupies dash is called matter. Question number 2. Dash is the example of non-lustrous material. Multiple choice questions. Question number 3. Cotton is an example of A. Lustrous material, B. Hard material, C. Liquid state, D. soft material. Question number 4. Liquids dash. Option A can flow. Option B cannot flow. Option C have fixed shape. Option D do not have mass. That's all for this video lecture. Thank you.